Hey everybody, welcome to Leon's Chainsaw Parts and Repair. We are looking at an absolutely gorgeous Homelite XL-901. We'll talk about where this came from in a minute. I've been working on this all morning, getting it cleaned up. I want to hear it run. New fuel line, carb kit. Couldn't find anything else wrong. Spark plug. So, let's pull it over, see if she'll run. I have no idea when the last time was that saw was run, but I know it was quite a while ago. Simple fact that the fuel hose and fuel filter were a puddle of goo on the floor of that fuel tank. So I didn't put much fuel in this. I just wanted to be able to run it a little bit, then I'm going to run it dry and put it up in the collection. So the story on this one, you guys look back in the history of the videos, I'd say it was been 2 years ago, or at least darn close to. I did a saw for a fellow by the name of Travis. I think it was a Super 1050, and it was an 1130G. I can't remember now, that's funny. But anyway, we've kept in contact off and on, and he emailed me the other day, and picture of this saw, and he asked me about it, so I kind of told him, and I said, well, I'd sure, you did well, Travis. I'd love to have one like that in my collection. Well, I've got one in my collection now. Travis, man, I owe you a huge thanks. This is awesome. This saw, number one, it's a 7-digit serial number here. So I'm thinking back, I'll have to go to the Wilson Saw Shop records and try and match this up, but I'm going to put this one at 68 or 69, somewhere in there, so it's old. Put that in perspective. This saw probably has run, if I had to guess, I'd say 10 hours or less since 68 or 69. The black accents are still faintly showing on the letters here, so that's how little it's been shuffled around, just enough to rub those off. The logo is still great. Fuel tank information and then the tag are all here, they're not all jacked up. Same thing on the drive case side. I mean, this has barely seen dirt and brush. Front of the saw, same way. I mean, it's just clean. Bottom of the saw, super clean. Yeah, and that manual oiler is working just fine. Probably gave it one pump too many. It ran long enough that I don't know if somebody spilled oil on it or if it was just, yeah, I don't know how, but the inside was coated with grease. I mean, thick grease, like in some cases a 1/4 inch thick. So that's what I spent most of the morning doing, is taking it apart, just blowing all the garbage out. I say the fuel lines were rotted, complete garbage, and the diaphragm and the carburetor on the fuel pump side was just stiff enough that, yeah, it probably would have run, but it wouldn't have been quite right. So threw a fresh SDC carb kit in there, put the right bar plates on it. The ones that were there were the 3/8 stud sizes, vintage correct, but this is a 5/16 stud, which meant I had to use this bar. So this bar is one that I restored. I was going to use it on one of my 870 or 875 projects, but those are on hold until Sugar Creek has time to make some decals for them. So anyway, I just had it hanging around, used one of their stencils, Sugar Creek stencils, on this, and then clear coated it with that gloss clear coat. And it's a 5/16 slot, so how could I not put it on this saw? 24 inch, that's well within the range of what would have been offered on this saw. So yeah, oh, the other thing that was deteriorated was the throttle rod grommet, of course, so cleaned all that gooey mess up. But just think about the build quality of stuff that we have today. And look at this, the top of that carburetor. So that's a Walbro carburetor, an STC13, but Homelite has their name stamped in it. Textron Industries, Port Chester, New York. That also helps date this saw. They hadn't even moved their headquarters to North Carolina yet. So, yeah, the black paint that they accented the handle with is worn down, but the blue's not worn through. So the muffler cleaned up. It was a carboned up mess, but a little real, how did I use? I think double-aught steel wool and some soap, and just kind of scrubbed it down and then polished it as much as possible. Added a spark arrestor, so you can be damn certain at some point this saw will make an appearance out at one of TJ's Raising Hell with the Neighbors get-togethers. So again, Travis, thank you so much. This is awesome. I was super excited to get this in the mail, and I'm glad I finally had some time today to get it running.